So I guess Stephanie has to be host.
Stephanie has to be co-host. So I'm going to reclaim the host now.
But hold on, before you reclaim the host.
Okay.
So why were you able to make Stephanie co-host before?
I was initially, yes.
Okay, so reclaim the host back.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, so Stephanie, 1 second. Okay. Make co-host. If I don't understand why he's not letting me, why it's not giving me the option of co-host. And it's just like hard, it's a hard make host. Is TC and Toronto still there?
Yeah, he's still on the call.
Yeah, I'm here.
So I don't understand, like he's not letting me make her a co-host. Instead, it's almost like he's trying to, if I make her.
Let her be host. I will log out and join again. But let her be host. I'll come back, okay?
No, that's what
But if you log out, will it affect the recording?
No, it won't.
Okay.
Okay, so I should make her host then. Okay, that's fine. Stephanie,
Just
I'll make the
host. I think I might know why, but just make her host so that you can continue. Or all she needs to do is to share her screen, right?
No. Stephanie is a co-facilitator with me. So
Who's sharing screen?
Mo is sharing screen.
I'm the one sharing the screen.
Okay. So you can continue then. If she doesn't need to share screen, then it's fine. So you remain host so that she can, you can mute and unmute yourself, fine. If you don't need to share screen, you don't really need to be host or co-host.
Okay, I need to share the screen. So for now, okay, that's fine. We'll work it out amongst ourselves. Thank you.
I'll come back and I will go and check in the back end why you are not able to make co-host. Okay,
cool. That's fine. Thank you. Okay, apologies, everyone. I'm really sorry about the technical issues we've been having, but I hope that everyone's had a good week. Please use an emoji. And if you've had a chance to look at the skills audits, does anybody have any feedback or anything that any kind of comments that they want to make on the skills review audits that the document that we shared last week? Anybody wants to comment? Hello, is someone there? Are people here? Hello, am I missing something?
You're not, but I personally haven't had the opportunity to do the skills audit, so I'm not able to give you the feedback that you would require.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Thank you. I think Oye put up his hand. Oye, do you want to speak about your feedback?
No, yeah, I've not been able to do it. That was a mistake.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Has anyone attempted it? I'm not seeing everyone's, no one's attempted it. Okay, I'm just gonna go, we're just gonna continue with our conversations. Okay, so have you seen my screen?
Not yet.
Sorry, I can't hear you. Your
It's not showing. More.
Not yet.
It's not showing.
it's not showing. Oh gosh.
No.
Okay, I'm so apologies for this. Oh. I'm sorry, I'm traveling, so it's a bit unsettling for me. So if this is kind of okay, let me start again. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. Thank you. Right. So we're supposed to talk about the skills and the audit review and sort of like get people's feedback from week one, whether was it useful? Did you find any kind of you know, did you think that that was how can I put it? Did you think that that was useful? Actually, yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. Was it useful for people? Did you get any value out of it? That's probably a better way of asking.
Okay, yes, I did the skills audit and it was really good. It's just that I think I got to the point where I was a bit discouraged because it seemed like I had too many things to learn, cover for me to be able to land the kind of job I want. I think there are too many things I need to learn for as per garnering the skill set required for the job. So, but it was really good. At least I have more direction, and I used it to I checked for some job vacancies with the one I want to, the kind of job I want. And I saw, I had to start looking at the skills they really require, and they matched with the skill assessment I did. So it was really good. Like,
oh, okay, great.
It's putting me on the right track. Yeah.
Wow, well done. Thank you. Does anybody else have any feedback? There's someone's background that is very noisy. Please, can you mute? It's really bad. I'm not sure who's yeah, thank you. Okay. Does anybody else have any other feedback on that? Okay, so I think that at least some people find the exercise useful in their own time, and somehow it's always better to do that particular review for the simple reason that it will get you familiar with the system or the process, and it will kind of focus you when you start to look for work and you start to look at the job boards. You become more familiar with your skill set. Then it's easier to tell your stories when you have interviews. All of these are like building blocks towards that final interview and then getting the job. So that's useful information. Hopefully people will drop comments in the chat, and I think some people are already doing that. Thank you. So we're just going to go on to why CV clinic. And to be honest, the way that I see it is because most people have kind of moved or relocated from home, different regions or different locations have sometimes very significant differences in the way that their CVs are structured, the format. I know that in some countries, some people even put their pictures on their CVs, and some people don't. They just want it to be very short and, you know, as to the point as much as possible. So the TCN community leadership felt that having a CV clinic would enable most of us to quickly, to quickly get onto it's a more bulleted and focused way of ensuring that people get into the idea of getting a job very quickly. So just looking at it, of course, we can't really do all the necessary deep dive, but at this level, this is what we can offer. So the UK CV, if you have any questions, please just use the emojis or any of the hand icons there, and I will just, or just, you know, interrupt me and just ask a question. So the idea is to have to just really talk about these are really basic stuff, but I've got a couple of links here. And this one just really talking about the job boards by ranking that you can essentially use to look at some of the job boards you should be. Don't know if you can see can you see my screen? See new share.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool.
It's not so bold or so clear.
I think it's
If you
loading.
can do like a slideshow.
It's the internet here. I think I mentioned earlier, apologies for this. I am traveling, so I'm just barely just trying to manage the resources I can get really. Okay, so so what we have here, we have it's supposedly these are the 10 sort of job boards, CV library. And this kind of gives you, and I think I captured a bit of that on the slide deck. So we have some of the job boards there, CV library, for those who are not yet familiar with that. I tried to log in, but it says that it's not allowed. I can't go directly to that site because apparently it's not allowed in this country where I am. So there's Indeed, and it's the generic www.indeed.com. And of course, I shared the link for Total Jobs last week, and it's read.com. Read is interesting in the sense that not only are they a job board, but they're also a recruitment agency. So it might be worth just trying to not only get the job, but try to register with Read as well. And I think they always have like local ones around where you live. And then there's Monster. I don't know about these other one, at Sona or something. I don't know. Glassdoor. And a CW job is also quite good. I don't know about these other ones, honorable mentions. These ones are very specific. I think if financial careers is exactly what it says for financial jobs, city jobs, these ones too, mostly accountants and people with numeric skills and stuff. So to go back to the original screen. So the reason for sharing the job board is so that based on your skills, based on the skills audit that you did, the personality testing and all of that, when you look at the job boards, it would help you to see and align some of your skills to those particular roles. At least you can assess whether or not you're a fit for the role or not. And I think at this stage, the idea is to have a breakout session, but I'm not sure whether that might be the best way to go about this, because what we want to do is go through the general CV structure and then also go to some of the CV templates that we think. I don't know, what do people think? Do you think we should continue on here, or we should have a much smaller group where people can maybe are freer and they can have the breakaway sort of session? Apologies for the European, for those who are hoping to get European knowledge. One of our leads for that, I'm not sure is available, and so can't be on the call tonight. Well, hopefully we will get to share some more resources for those who have EU focus kind of job requirements. So what do people think? Do you think we should just continue from here, or do we have the breakout sessions? Comments? No one's talking.
We can continue from here.
Yeah.
Because of
I
time
think the
constraint.
size is small enough that we can do here.
Oh, okay,
Since
okay,
the
that's fine.
guy in charge of the Europe is not around, we can continue from here.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you. All right, so I'm just going to quickly move us from, so some of those job links are here. These are some of the links as well. I think I already put some of these in, but let me just put this in the charts just so that some people, you can start to investigate straight away. Okay. Oh, great. Thanks, Steph. Thank you. Okay, so she put some of it there. Okay. Okay, so we're just going to continue with the structure. So your typical CV structure, at least for the UK, is where you would just generally have a personal statement. So it's a small capture of your skill sets in very broad terms, and then a bit about your career aspirations. And then you would also generally have where you would have your highlighted skills. And these might be very similar to what we have in Nigeria, or in, I don't know whether some people are also from other countries here in Africa or something. So it's probably similar. So you would have your highlighted skills as well. And in cases where you don't have the work experience at this point, the general role is to just focus more on all of the things that you've done in uni, and some of those skills is essentially what you would. So in your personal statement, you just really talk about the whole uni thing, you just da-da-da-da-da. And mostly people advise that it's best to leave out your grade unless you're a 2-1 or a first class type of, so it's best to just not talk too much about that. And then, you know, with the highlighted skills, you can just talk about the key skills from what you've gained from uni. And then you do some more detailed stuff, maybe a one-liner about dates when you join the organizational name, actually the job role, the name of the organization, and a brief recap of responsibilities. If you have any achievements, it's probably the best place to put it. And then in the other bits, it's probably where you would have the education or your degrees or trainings or interests. And all of this, the idea is to make sure that you sort of tie that in to the role that you're applying for. So your interest and all of that. The trick also is not to put your address on that, because sometimes you might get a job in Scotland, you're willing to move, or you put your London address there. So sometimes the recruiters or the people say, oh, you know, you live in London, and so therefore you maybe they'll start making excuses. So most times I always would advise that you don't put your address on there, just put your email address and your contact number so that they can reach you. And then of course, 100% of the time, try not to put your referee's details also on your CV. Just that you would supply that on demand. And then, do people have any questions? No? Okay, I'll just go on. So for the CV templates, I'm going to start with this, and this is lengthy. Let me put this also on there. I'm going to start with the project manager one. So I'm not sure whether this is whatever, but I looked at some very interesting CVs there. So like this one here now, this probably be very typical of the UK type one. Can you see my screen? So I'm not the only person who's
Yes, we can. You can see the screen. It's just not very clear. Like if you can,
It's not clear.
are you trying to, it's not just here. Maybe if you
Oh,
can click
wow.
on slideshow so it's in our faces. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to see if there's something else I can. Okay, let me stop everything now. And
I don't know if I can help.
who is the person who suggested? Who
I think that's
suggested?
Victor. Victor suggested is offering help.
No, yeah. Okay, cool. You can just go back to the PowerPoint. Then there's a icon below that shows the TV. Once, like a TV, once you click it, it's going to be full screen, I guess. And
Oh, okay. Let me go back then. 1 second. Sorry, I'll just follow you as you guide me. Thank you.
okay.
Thanks for your patience, everyone. Okay, so where is this icon? Oh,
Yeah.
the slide share here, this one.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay. Right. Can you see now?
Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thanks, Victor.
Thank you. Okay. So for this particular person now, if you just look at the wordings of his personal profile, I'm going to let you read and absorb at your own pace.
Sorry, Mo, what you're
Well,
sharing
yeah.
now is your slide, not the CV. I think what you've done is shared specific screens per time rather than your entire system. So what we can only see at the moment is your PowerPoint slide rather than the CV
really?
you're trying to share. Yes, please.
Oh, okay. All right. So let me try again. Oh, I see where you're going. I see. Is this clear?
So we
It's
can
the
still
same
see the
thing.
slides. So maybe if you just do Alt Tab, so it takes us straight to you, or you share the other page, the one that has the person's resume on it.
Hold on. That's what. Can you see the screen, the standout CV?
No, we can only see CV
No, what we
template.
can see is your slide. Your
The
slide deck.
slides.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So sorry. I'm just going to do it the traditional way. I'm not a Zoom person. Sorry. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Yes.
Is it very clear?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
it's okay. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just do it the long-winded way, and apologies for, Okay, so can you see the personal profile of the CV now? This is for the project management role.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Cool.
Yes, it's very visible.
Okay. Shall I keep going? Shall I keep scrolling down, or you're still reading the personal profile? I will share this link anyway, so people can go there at their own leisure. Says, so you can see some of the wordings, the key responsibility parts, working with key stakeholders to define, so you can see. And I think you can see also from the very beginning, I think there were some project management questions from last week. You can see that there's this guy is very clear. He's a project manager, but he's very focused on infrastructure. And you can see that he pretty much puts that even in his initial profile.
Nothing. All right. Okay, we are glad, and I'm very happy with the way this discussion has gone, and I believe we've learned one or two things which we can add to our knowledge. If I didn't pick anything tonight, I think I'll pick this aspect.
Hello, sorry, I'm not sure who's commenting.
I don't think they realized they were unmuted. I think they're talking to someone else.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So you can see from his core skills, which was, what we spoke about. He's told you global business infrastructure, vendor management, we know webcasting, and, so you can see here, project planning and all the other things, but you can see that these are the ones that are geared towards, and I think we mentioned last week that project management, sometimes it's domain driven. It depends on what kind of projects you're looking to manage. And we can see also from here, infrastructure project management again, and it's gone ahead to put down some of these things. Some of them are even repetitive, but it just tells you. And then you can see what we were talking about in terms of key achievements and stuff. But you can see that with this one, this is kind of like a bit generic. The one from November 2011 to April 2013. Here it's just a project manager. And it's put the big thing here. Then there are key things within project management space anyway. There's always a big thing about key stakeholders. And it doesn't matter how many interviews you have, they will always ask you about key stakeholders. This is a fundamental interview question for any project management related jobs anyway. So that's this person's CV. So you can see he was just like, all over the place before he kind of specialized, and in some places he doesn't necessarily say that, but at least you have an idea. So I'm just saying that for people who are coming in from Nigeria or recently coming in, just sometimes it's best to just use that you've been abroad. You recently moved to the UK with 10 years, maybe project management skills abroad, and you just want to use some of those key, like some of the key terms he's used here now. Like when you go to the core skills areas. Hold on before we go. When he's talking about vendor management, and the other things that you've done, like the project planning, some of those things, you can use that as your core skills. They will ask you questions more. Even if you don't have Prince 2, please don't put Prince 2 in view if you don't have it yet. Just put your skills there. Sometimes, well, most times, some of these companies tend to focus on skills and experience rather than certification in some cases. It depends on the industry that you're interested in. So I don't know, does anyone have any comments on this CV? Or do you want us to keep going? Any comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I don't know if, no, I don't know. So what I would say, particularly for those of us who are coming in from Nigeria or from outside the UK into the UK, I would typically recommend, so now this is just based on, what's that thing called? Discrimination. I'll typically recommend, if you can be a bit silent on your location, then you can say it in the interview. Just so, I don't know, but based on my personal experience, I realized that I became silent on my location. So when I was reworking my CV, I took off anything Nigeria or Lagos or Edo State. Those were the places I worked. I worked in Edo, Benin, I worked in Lagos. I worked in the East, my NYSC. I just took out anything that had to do with a particular location. So I was a bit silent on it. So I found that when I get into the interview, then I now say, so when they're asking, oh, it looks like you just, and I said, yes, I just came in, I'm able to say it at that point in time. This is just my suggestion anyway, but you may have a different approach, but I just wanted to mention that based on discrimination and all of that.
Thanks, Steph. Yes, I think it's better. That's why I would couch it really. And if you don't have like so there's some brands from Nigeria like Diageo. I won't even put Nigeria. I'll probably just put Diageo there and put EMEA, you know, because it's all part of that region.
Yeah.
If you've got that, if you can use that, then it's better. Otherwise, I think you should just use the generic. It's irrelevant anyway. It's your skills that matter. So you can also say, you know, there's the way that you can qualify or count your outside of UK or non-UK experience, something like that, and just put your key skills there. And when you get, if you make it attractive enough and it passes the top shop total jobs like ranking, and you get like 75 or 85%, then I think you should launch that CV. And then as you begin to take calls from recruiters and all of that, they'll probably probe you for some of those areas, and you can just speak around your skills. Generally, you can determine your own generic responses to what you think that they will ask you. I know that I generally, I just go and look for typical interview questions, sometimes on YouTube, and then try to, you know, like formulate a response based on my CV. So you have to think about what those experiences are and then use, you know, what's it called? The STAR approach, and just use it to sort of narrow down on the different experiences. It really shouldn't take more than 1 or 2 minutes. And then you can practice like spending time. This is just, I know that we're probably going a bit forward, but just to make sure that everything is situated in context, so that eventually when you start, you can have all of those things. You use your WhatsApp to do your recording of your responses to some of those questions. You get really good at it, because once you launch your CV and your CV is good, you're going to get calls. When you get calls, you want to be able to speak to recruiters in a way that they would, you know, want to send you that Teams invite for that next stage of the interview. So all of this, I think, is working together in terms of that. Okay, so I don't know whether people want us to focus. Are there anybody that's, maybe some people have construction background that you want us to focus here, but you probably still see the same generic. And if we focus on the core skills here, we can see project management, project planning, and management. We can see contract management, which is very similar to vendor management that the other guy mentioned. You can see procurement and vendor management here, pretty much the same, as similar. A risk assessment, which is very typical for project management roles, project sign-off. Some people say, I don't really know whether he needed to put this here, but finance management and cost control. And then these ones are just like, I think they are industry standard type of thing. SSS, something, TCO. Is this relevant to maybe somebody on the call? If not, is it okay if I just scroll past it? Or do you want us to look at this in more depth? Because we still have some other CVs to look at.
I think we can move to another profession since
Okay.
we already do alternate project management before.
Okay, cool. Right, so these ones are, so this is the project management bits, the other ones here, but let me just share this link in the charts so that you have it. You can. Okay, so shared, please feel free to. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go back. Apologies for the back and forth. But so for those who have IT roles, just gonna open this up. Let me share this already. Sharing the link for people who are interested. 1 second. I'm also trying to share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
It's still loading up.
Okay,
Okay,
Yes,
now we can see it now.
okay, thank you. This is a link for this site. Okay, and this one is really for IT related sort of jobs. And you can see here, there's a focus on, for someone who is just like leaving uni. Remember, we discussed that. So you can see that this person's CV, see this, you know, due to graduate, and then they've gone on to talk about, you know, their degree. They predicted, he said 2-1. This is very tricky because sometimes you can predict 2-1 and then anyway. So you know, you can see all of these. So it's very uni focused here. And then very few lines on IT skills, but still is out there. And then the other trainings. So this is very IT focused. And this is and then prior to that, if you notice from their job here, yeah, I think they mentioned the name of the company, but I just would have mentioned the name of mine. I'm just worried. I just wanted to make sure to just highlight what we discussed earlier on in terms of, you know, do I keep the name of the brand or the organization on my CV or not, or just qualify as non-UK experience and just have the jobs listed on there, and that's them. So this is very uni focused, but it then tells you some of the things that they've done, uni interests, that kind of thing. All these things, working in volunteering, working in an NGO, all of these things, activities like that are very useful activities. So this is supposed to be our CV link, but I think there are other things here, like there's job and work experience postgraduate. There are also many other things that you can find actually from this particular link, which I personally believe would be very, very useful. So that's there. Don't know why the thing is okay. Okay. And this one is just a read one. The internet is a bit slow, sorry. Oh, it's loading, boy. It's taking forever. Okay. Apologies for this. Okay, I think I might just, so I don't take your time, I think I will just share the link so that you can go through that in your own spare time. I'll share the link when that comes up. So I will just go back to just sharing the slides. Apologies for this, but. The only thing now is that the internet is now funny. Can people hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, we.
Oh, okay. So like, okay. It's so slow. It's crazy. Okay, so I'll go back to the original slide. Please let me know if you can see my, if you can see. It's so
Still
slow.
loading up.
Because the internet it's considerably slow. Oh gosh. Apologies for this. Can you see the screen now?
No, it's still blank. It's just a blank page.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, we can see the screen now.
You can?
So we're seeing
Okay, great.
closing tips. Yeah, it's your slide,
Oh,
closing tips.
great. Thank you. Okay, so I think that, hold on. Yeah, hold on. I think we're done with these ones here. So I will share this link so that people can see this, and it will help in terms of developing your CVs. Apologies, we can't. I'm not sure that the internet has enough bandwidth for us to actually look at this in a much smarter way. So, but before I get to the closing tips, Stephanie, do you have anything you want to share just before I get there?
Okay, so it's not really much, but what I would say, or more like, let me re-emphasize. So when I said being a bit silent on location, so for instance, I'll put myself as an example. I used to work with Zenith Bank. So prior to now, I'll put all my locations where I'd worked. But when I was going to do my CV revamp, I had to take off anything. So Lagos, Nigeria, Edo, Enugu, I took all of that off. So I just put Zenith Bank PLC. When we get to the interview, you ask me what Zenith Bank is and where Zenith Bank is, and I'll tell you, oh yeah, from Nigeria. Yeah. Then I was also going to say, if we can leverage on when we're trying to build our CVs, or more like revamp our CVs, to say the UK format or the UK standard, I would highly recommend using AI, artificial intelligence, is like ChatGPT. I would highly recommend you use, if you can make use of ChatGPT to modify your CV. I would use myself as an example because that's what I know that has worked for me. I typically use ChatGPT for my CVs and my cover letter. So you know how AI is, you feed it in, tell it to do, okay, kindly draft a resume with this job description. So I would typically maybe take a job description that I think I want, a job I want to apply for. I'll pick from maybe like about the role and skills you require. I'll just take that copy and then paste it onto ChatGPT and tell it, guy, draft a resume for me. And it would actually draft a resume, you can actually tell it to draft a CV with maybe metrics. Now by metrics, maybe like for those who are into sales or quantifiable achievements. So it will give you, maybe you achieved 20% conversion rate of customers, you achieved 10% error minimization, just basically depending on what you want to achieve. Yeah, you can use ChatGPT to your advantage. Then I don't know if this works, but at the point I was doing spray and pray. That's what my husband used to tease me, like me, I used to spray. So I'll spray my CVs and pray that one of them will come back to me. So I had my own style was I would generate various resumes for the various roles I'm applying for. And I'll typically name those files. So let's assume, for instance, I'm applying to Money.io, like money.io. So I have a specific resume based on the job description they put there. And then I would save my CV in that way. So, if they phone me up tomorrow, if the recruiter is ringing me to say, hi, Stephanie, we got your CV, and want to speak to you, I have what it is that I put, like, I know what I sent to them and I can defend it or I can speak about it. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but so I had, like, if you open my laptop, I'm sure I have more than 100 resumes. So for every company I applied to, I have a specific resume for it. Because, they'll tell you getting a job is a job. It's a lot of work. But once you're able to, the most important thing is just get your foot in the door for your resume to get a call back. Because you know, these days what they do is they use ATS to screen the resume. I think that's what Mo was trying to explain when you put your resume on, is it Total Jobs or no, Top CV, to check how similar your resume is to the particular role you're applying for. So, I mean, that can really help. The use of AI, use of ChatGPT is a very helpful tool. So you can use it to draft your resume. If it gives you a resume, you can say, hey, okay, kindly rewrite this resume. It is too generic. Unfortunately, I'm not with my laptop. I'll probably just try to show, maybe do like a little demo of what I mean, you know, but kindly rewrite this, or rewrite the objectives. I don't like these objectives, or kindly put my objective in bullet point. Just manipulate the ChatGPT and you'll be shocked at what it will do for you. It reduces a lot of the work you would have to do when you're writing your resume, your CV. I think that's pretty much what I wanted to add. I don't know if any other person, I mean, please let other people talk. I know we've been having technical glitches, but please, as anyone that can contribute, please contribute. You know, you never can tell. You have relevant information that some of us have never heard and might be helpful to any of us. Yeah, so thank you.
Thanks, Steph. So does anybody else have, I mean, is there like an HR professional amongst us? If you're happy to give us tips, we're happy to listen to you. Hello, is someone volunteering?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I just want to contribute briefly, and this is based off of mostly my experience now, recently interviewing for some people at my workplace, interviewing for a position, conducting interviewing for a position. And maybe most of the things I'm going to say is not going to be anything new. There are still the things that you find maybe a Google away, the things that you already know, but it's just a reminder to stick to those things. There's no reason why you should be putting your age unless it's asked for, unless you're following a specific format that has been given to you. Minimize things that, as they've said, like some informations that are not relevant, that might easily might instigate bias against you. So your age, your state of origin, your picture, and all of those things. There are things that, unless it's explicitly asked for. I know in Nigeria, like if you're applying for a government job, they will ask you like your age, are you married, your kids, the age of your children, things like that. But if you're applying for a private sector job, most of the time those things are not necessary unless you're following like a format, like EUCV format or something that is asked for. Don't make your CV like 10 pages long or 5 pages long. It's too much. I think a rule of the thumb is 2 if you've had a lot of experience. If you're just starting out, 1 page is enough. You don't have a lot of experience to fill in pages and pages of CV. Use a CV tool like the one they've shown maybe 2 semesters ago. I shared one similar to what Mo is showing, and there was a feedback. There were actually a couple of feedback that this makes writing CV easier. Rather than trying to do that in Word, if we're in 2010, okay, even in 2010, these tools were available. Don't make your life easy. I remember when I was trying to get a job and I was all in, I was paying $5 monthly for this tool. Now look at $5 to what I was hoping to get from it. that is not a lot of money to pay for. So make sure that you also can review your CV, maybe share your CV with your friends, share it with someone, and let them read through, see what they think of your CV. And don't treat your CV as something that is static. Treat it as something that is dynamic, like always updating. If you learn something tomorrow, go back and put it in your CV. Treat it always as as something that you're like a memoir of your jobs. So that tomorrow, if someone asks you, maybe someone is just looking at you and be like, oh, can you send your CV? You don't have to spend, hours trying to, update your CV because it's already updated or almost up to date. So yeah, those are like the few things that I have to say.
Thank you.
Gozi has a question. I think Gozi is raising.
Yeah, I can see. Thanks, Steph. Sorry. Gozi's question is whether he can use his picture or something like that.
No, that's not my question. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Good evening.
Good evening. Sorry, someone asked the question. Is that Udeme? I think that's the person's name.
Yes, but it's been answered by someone else. Unless you want to say something about it.
Oh, no. It's okay with that. Okay, that's cool. That's good. Sorry, the other person who wanted to talk, please go ahead, Gozie.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. So my question is just your inputs on certifications. For example, presently I'm running my MSc course, and from the discussions I've had so far with the people around me, they keep hyping on getting certification, especially the UK or EU certification, that it gives you an edge in a way compared to other people. And two, when you're applying for certain jobs, most especially the jobs within their government role, for example, maybe you're applying to their local council or something, almost all of the jobs here, you'll be required to fill in what is called the equal opportunity form. And on the form, you have to state your ethnicity, your religious background, your nationality. So speaking of, bias and discrimination, would you advise to go ahead and fill those things, or just prefer not to say? Which one is would you think would be more efficient or effective, rather?
Okay, so all of these people have to, I think that they always have to do like reporting at the end of the financial year. So they have their own standards, this equality assessment type of things are reports that they have to show. It's required by law. So it's important for them to get that information. There's all this thing about transparency and openness and of course, equality and stuff like that. So they want to be, you don't have to put your information there if you don't want to. I mean, it's your personal choice. You don't have to fill it.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody else has any other opinion, but as far as I know, it's not mandatory. Okay. I think we are gradually coming to the end of this conversation today. And I think, okay. Oluwaseyi Fumi, please go ahead.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Hi, good evening.
Sorry, I think I joined late. I thought it was starting by 8 o'clock. Anyways, speaking on the question the last person asked, and you said it's not mandatory. I think some of those forms, that section, that equality thing is mandatory. And I think if you don't fill some of it, you may not be able to submit the form. I don't know if I'm wrong.
No, you're right. You're right.
To prefer not to say.
Yeah, but you don't have to give them any other information about you. You can prefer not to say. You can choose that as an option throughout the form and still complete it. But you're just somebody who prefers not to tell them anything else about yourself. That's what I meant. Thanks for asking that question so that it can be a bit more fair.
Can I say something, Joe? Sometimes selecting the right one is actually to your advantage. I'll tell you why. So in recent time, I was speaking to one of the recruiters in my office. So there's this thing they do every year for apprentices. They go regionally. And I found out that when they are recruiting people across board, either for experienced staff or apprentices or whatever, they select people sometimes on the basis of their differences. What do I mean? So if they have 10 applicants and they want to fill 10 slots, 10 roles, because for diversity and all those inclusion story, blah, blah, they have to make sure that at least 3 people are of different ethnic backgrounds. And they will only pick you through the 10 people that have applied on the basis of the fact that you are Black and African or whatever the case may be. So sometimes selecting the right thing is actually to your advantage. Especially now that everybody is shouting diversity and inclusion, it is actually to your advantage to select your who you are, because it's on that basis. As of course, this is aside from your skill set and all of your experience, they then pick you because you are Black and African.
Okay, that's a good one. Thanks, Steph. Okay, does anybody else have any comments on these ones? No? Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. You've kind of come to the last slide now, and this has been shared. The closing tips: mind your language, spell checks, tenses are accurate, formal language is adopted, match skill sets to job adverts. I think Toby already mentioned this. Get an independent assessment of your CV. Familiarize yourself with your CV to ensure it paints an accurate picture of your skill set and reflects your career aspirations. Your social network, I think someone already referred to this. That was the whole idea of trying to do this body system and stuff. Launch your CV and prepare for follow-up calls from recruiters for put forwards and all of that. If a recruiter is happy with your CV, they call you up and they validate, your CV with you. They're happy. Then the next thing is, can we put you forward for this particular role? And that's how you start to get into the process. And even as you get in there, responding to calls from recruiters is a good way to get interview ready. And then, going to put forwards or having those initial team invites for follow-up meetings and all of that is also a very good way to get interview ready as well. It builds your confidence. You break the, whatever, it demystifies the entire process for you. And then when you do, because when I kind of started to come back into the UK system, I would generally record my interviews. Of course, you don't know, but from the moment I entered the building to my saying hello to the receptionist, to my coming into the room, the interview room, everything, I put my phone on record and it's in my bag. And then I take it, depending on, my friend will generally just review the interview for me. And he was very good. He could easily tell me, I think you were going to get the job. For this one, I don't think so. And it was a good call. So modulation of your voice and all of that comes with when you've practiced your interview, you've practiced you're familiar with your CV, because sometimes people see your CV, but they want to hear the backstory. So starting with your CV is just a starting point. There has to be the backstory. So context, tell us what you did here and all the other things. You then have to build that and maybe even do your Q&As and talk back and share information. So some of these tips are very, very useful. You can look at some jobs and just look at sometimes just the adverts. You kind of have an understanding of exactly what they're looking for because you've looked at so many. So you know exactly what they need to say and you have to be kind of a bit balanced, because like Stephanie said, you really don't know what the kind of fits that they're trying to look for within their team. They can tell you all this, you know, when you come for interviews, they'll be like, okay, so we're in 10 regions and blah, blah, blah. And then they start to drill down, okay, so it's a team of 4 and we're looking for someone to fill this role, da, 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 da. Ideally, we're looking for da, 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 and you can see that. So when you're looking at all of those kind of scenarios, you have an idea of how you should, ideally you should have like 2 or 3 options of how you will respond to your questions, to some of the questions when you have an interview. Either you want to go like really hard sell, you want to go very balanced, or you want to moderate stuff. It's just you just looking at things and just trying to couch that. And then be clear about your salary goals. Oh, okay, so Anna, hi.
No, hi, you can finish talking. I don't want to interrupt you. You can
okay,
finish speaking and then I'll talk.
Oh, okay, cool. So final one is to be clear about your salary goals. Sometimes when you're doing like, you know, like if you're in a contract role or whatever role. I can hear background noise.
Are your results out? Bye. That will
Hi, Amara. We can hear your conversation.
Just ALP and then.
Amara.
Put her on mute, please.
I'm trying to. Okay.
She's muted.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the final one is to be clear about your salary goals, your salary expectations, and to be ready to do the negotiations when it comes to that. And I know that some of these things we packed this really CV focus, but we're just adding the other parts of the job search process to it. Thank you, everyone. And we're going to have the member of our board address the team.
There's need for all this much more. You not like to gas me up unnecessary. Please, it's just a bit of a final one is that make use of the community that you are in. What does that mean? Is that if you are going in for a role in a particular company, please ask on the group, or if you're going in for a role, or if you're going in for an interview, if you're going in for a role, or you're going for, especially if you're going in for an interview and you need somebody to prep with you, there are all kinds, especially if you're in the UK or even across Europe, and Africa, there are people that are definitely either working in that industry or working in the same company. Make a call out. Please, I'm going in for an interview in this company. Is there anybody that works there or anybody in this industry that is ready to do a what's that thing called? A pre-interview prep with me. Let me tell you what happened. There was this lady, she lives in Scotland, and she reached out to me that, she had she's a lawyer, and she had the solicitors, I don't know what they call them. She had this interview specifically in, was it PwC? Yeah, I think it was PwC. So she was asking me, mock interview, yeah, thank you. And so she was asking me, do I know anybody there? And I said, I know 2 people. These 2 people that I introduced to her were people I met in this community group. The first person was an auditor, but it was in PwC. So I put them in touch just to give her some, how did they ask questions in PwC, just give her a bit of PwC thinking. And then the other person also I met in this group, the community group, was a lawyer who had just come to the UK, and her first job, she got it as a lawyer. I remember when that lady came, she spoke to me that she was also looking for a job. You know, we went through some introductions. She also got some mock interviews and got a job. So of course, when this new lady in Scotland calls me and said, please, do I know any lawyer? I just said, that's the one person I know. And guess what, guys? She got that job because she had somebody that had a background of Nigerian degree and was coming into the UK to get into a legal role. So the person knew how to teach her because the person now had gotten the job, the person could coach her what this is how you say things, this is how you do things and stuff. The PwC person was able to talk to her about how they ask things in PwC, what they are looking out for. So please, please, and please, if you have done your CV, if you need help for somebody in your industry to review your CV, please ask in the community group. If you're going in for a mock interview, ask. The person might not be in the company, but the person might be within that industry and they can help you. This is what the community group is about. Most of us, if not all, well, not all of us, about 95% of us are Nigerians. And so some of us are already working here. So we can tell you the kind of things that you need to say it and how you need to say it when you're going in for mock interview. So please, please, and please, I'm begging you, make use of the community you are in. If you have CVs that you want people to help you review, or if you're going in for an interview, ask within the community. I bet you we're 1,000+ in that community. I am so sure that there will be somebody that is ready to help you as you go in. All right, cool. Thank you. I'll shut up now.
Thank you for that. Thank you for adding that, which is why we're here in the first place. Thank you so much. I don't know if anybody else has any comments, anything they want to add. We have a couple of more minutes that we can take questions or any kind of feedback. Any takers? I think we have some comments here. Sure to read. One second. Okay, I don't think we have. Oh, I think someone needs help. Sorry. That's not right. Ewajesu, hi. She said you said you've asked a question about experience of training from other countries apart from Nigeria. So do you want to speak about this? Do you want to unmute and just speak? Are you okay to speak?
Yes, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, so we were mentioning removing, like not putting Lagos, Nigeria, and also I wanted to know if it was from other countries, that also applies, like just state the name of the country, of the company, sorry, and not the country or the location where the company is located.
Steph, do you want to please take that, because
okay, so I would say that so I'm coming from the angle of discrimination or bias based on, say, Nigeria, Africa. But I mean, if I saw you wrote Germany, you wrote Israel. I mean, nothing, if I have something from Germany, I would laud it. I don't know if you get what I mean, because it's an EU country, it's a developed country, so to say, as opposed to a developing, it's just my own. So I stand corrected, but this is what I did. I'm telling you what I did or what I would do. Yeah, but I mean, if I go to another country, maybe in another 2 years, I'm in Canada, I will, that UK, United Kingdom, I will write in bold. If you get what I mean, then maybe at that point in time, I can also, but say I was coming from Nigeria, because I know how many, unfortunately, we are sorry. And then many times there's some rules, like it's not like I wasn't qualified for, oh, sorry, you're just coming, you don't have UK experience, you know, so those kind of things were disheartening for me. So that was what I adopted. Yeah, but I mean, I would not get experience from EUCon. I will loud it. I will put it there in block letters so you see it. I'm just saying though, but you figure what I mean, but yeah.
Thank you.
I hope this is fine, Jason.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so we're about to log off. Does anybody else have any questions?
Oyinye has her hand raised. I don't know if she has spoken. Oyinye Chukwu.
Hi, good evening. Sorry. I just want to give a quick thought on the last response. So I've been on various interviews here. My name is Onyinye. I live in London, UK. And most times when employers see Lagos, Nigeria, or let's say Port Harcourt, Nigeria, on my CV, it's one of the reasons why they call me for the interview. in the sense that they say that you have international experience, so you know how to deal with people from a different country, and you understand their sort of like ethics, their work ethics. So for some, depending on the kind of company you're going into, that can be an advantage when you're dealing with international colleagues. I just wanted to say.
Wow, thank you so much for that. That's another point of view. Okay, I think we're done in terms of, I don't see any other hands raised, or I think. Okay, so I think that we're kind of done here. So Steph, do you want to close us out in prayers? And sorry, we can continue some of the conversations or questions on our career hub. So if you have any additional questions or queries or any other sort of information or tips you want to share, please feel free to put it on the career hub. Thank you so much for being a part of us tonight. And I'm just going to hand over to Stephanie to pray and close us out.
In Jesus' name, our Heavenly Father, we thank you for another meeting and another opportunity to gather together as a community. We thank you for all that was shared and everything that we have exchanged ideas and all that we have learned today. We also want to use this opportunity to pray for as many of us as are seeking career changes or new jobs and new roles. We ask, oh Lord, that even as we have done all of this, you help us and grant us the wisdom to apply all that we have heard in Jesus' name. We also pray that even as we apply and even as we are on the journey to getting a new role or getting a new job, you would also open doors of opportunities for us in this land that we have come to, and that just like your word says, we will eat the good of the land in the name of Jesus. We commit the next week into your hands, and we ask that you will be with every member of this community and the larger group. Thank you, Lord, for we will gather again here next week, and we would have good testimonies and things to look up to. In Jesus' name we have prayed.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, everyone. Apologies for the initial technical glitch. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Il pouvait faire de lui un double joueur, milieu et défenseur, en un match.